Hello YouTube, today I'm bringing you the ultimate guide to World War II German helmets, what you should know, what you should look for, and most importantly, how to identify them. So without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Now when I'm referencing the big three, I'm talking about the three main German helmets that everybody knows, and this is probably what you'll be seeing most when you're trying to buy one. Now the M35 and the M40 are remarkably similar helmets. There is a way to decipher which one is which just by looking at the vent. So the helmet you can see in front of you right now is the M40 German helmet. So let me zoom in on the vents and I want you to tell the difference between the two. We can see over here that the vent has a more streamlined approach where it was just pressed into the helmet. Now let's compare this to the M35 helmet. And you can see right there, that's the M35 vent. Notice how it's more defined. You can actually see the ridge line and it kind of cones up just like that. This is a perfect example. Now that's literally the only difference between the M35 helmet and the M40 helmet is just that vent. The reason they did this was to save production time, save material, and they also had this weird fear of that if bullet damage were to happen, shrapnel, that this vent would come off and go into the person's head, which was simply not true. I've examined multiple relics of these helmets, and it is very slim possibility these things ever came off, and if so, I think it was for other reasons, not because of shrapnel. Now as we examine both helmets, there's something that should immediately jump out you of what the difference is between these two helmets. So on the top we have the M40 and then on the bottom we have the M42. So I'll give you a second now. If you guessed it, congratulations. Yes, it is the rim. They did this for a few reasons. One, it was just easier to produce because they didn't have to roll the edge. And two, it didn't really make too much of a difference in terms of the helmet. And just like the M40, they kept the pressed vent. So that's all you need to know about the M42, M40, and M35. Now, because these ones are less common, less collectible, I'm going to go over them quite briefly. I'm not going to be going through every single model, but I'm going to be trying my best to explain each of them, so bear with me. At the top here, we have a Luftschutz helmet. This one was for more air defense. It has thinner steel and was generally good at keeping from falling shrapnel hitting the user. One example of this is the rejected helmets. Some rejected helmets for certain issues, if whether the steel wasn't coming out right or something, they would be pressed into the Luftschutz helmet and they would just be slapped with a decal, and you can see this ring around the helmet, I guess to help from falling shrapnel again. I don't know why. They also had a few different types of Luftschutz helmets. It's mostly about the construction of them, so you can see how it has that ring around. Some don't have that. Some is just one piece, and then you can see this one going down a singular seam. They would call that the three-piece one because it was constructed with three pieces in mind. Next we have the civilian police/firefighter helmet, and we can tell this because it has holes on the top. This one would be for a firefighter. It's just missing that top piece that is very popular with firefighter helmets. And yes, we can compare it to the other one, which is the police, which has the same decal, of course, but this one does not have the holes. See, this is more of a civilian thing, very light steel. It does not have the same steel that a combat helmet would. And of course, there are a variety of these police helmets. That's just one of them. I'm not going to go into specifics because I don't have time. I'll save that for another video. Now we have the Paratrooper helmet, and like the German combat helmet, they made tons of these during the war, and they made several different versions. But if you're trying to get your hands on one, God help your soul. These things are just impossible to find for a good price. People just name their price and people will pay it. It is crazy. I'm sorry for you if you're trying to collect one of these. They're really cool, but they are expensive. Now what you're seeing in front of me right now is the pith helmet. There were two patterns of this. This is the second one. And if I believe I'm right, I believe that the second one didn't see hardly any, if any, combat actually. It was just rolled out much too late for it to be in any practical use. That's why you can find so many of these in good condition. And on that note, I'm going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Check out my shop, WW2German4Sale. Thank you so much.